Title: A Realistic Approach to Building Wealth in 5 Years. Imagine a typical Sunday afternoon. You're casually browsing through YouTube or Instagram, and you come across those enticing videos claiming how I became a millionaire in 18 months, or turn $1,000 into $1 million using this simple trick. For a moment, you might wonder, am I overlooking something crucial? You work diligently and earn a respectable income. Yet when you check your bank balance, the figures don't reflect progress toward becoming a millionaire. It leads you to question whether amassing wealth is actually feasible or just exaggerated hype on the internet. Here's the scoop. A lot of online financial advice falls into two extremes. On one end, there's the get-rich-quick mentality with crypto secrets, day trading strategies, and drop-shipping shortcuts. On the opposite end, there's the tedious advice to invest for 40 years and perhaps reach comfort at 65. Neither of these options offers much satisfaction. However, what many people fail to see is that building genuine wealth doesn't require 40 years. It doesn't happen in 6 months either. But 5 years? That time frame can truly revolutionize your financial trajectory, provided you focus on the right aspects. In this video, I'll guide you through a realistic approach to gaining substantial financial momentum over the next 5 years. This is not the flashy version, but the one that truly delivers results. I'm Jack, and I'm somewhat obsessed with strategizing ways to enhance wealth. If you're someone who finds wealth building challenging, don't forget to subscribe and like this video if it proves helpful. Alright, let's delve into the first uncomfortable fact. Wealth isn't achieved merely through saving. Now you may think, isn't the idea to save money? Well, yes and no. While saving is crucial, relying on it alone is like attempting to fill a pool with a teaspoon. Here's my point. Suppose someone saves $300 monthly. This is actually better than the majority, as Federal Reserve data reveals that nearly 40% of Americans would struggle to meet a $400 emergency without borrowing. Thus, saving $300 monthly is commendable. But consider the numbers. Saving $300 a month amounts to $3,600 annually. Over 5 years, this equates to $18,000. With an annual return of about 8% from investments, this sum could grow to approximately $21,000 to $22,000. While not insignificant, it's not transformative either. Here's where things get intriguing. In the initial 5-year period, the primary wealth driver isn't investment, it's boosting your income. What many overlook is that at the start of your financial journey, your earning capacity surpasses your savings account in value. Think of your income as a car's engine. A small engine limits speed, no matter how adept you're driving. You need more power. This concept applies to finances as well. Increasing your income simplifies everything. Saving becomes manageable. Investing becomes feasible. Debt diminishes more swiftly. Take a straightforward example. Picture two individuals. Person A earns $3,000 monthly and saves 10%, equating to $300. Person B spends the initial 2 years enhancing their skills, negotiating better pay, or cultivating a side income, raising their income to $5,000 monthly. They save the same 10% or $500 monthly. This difference alone totals $12,000 more in savings over 5 years. If the gap widens, the impact becomes even more significant. This leads us to the initial step in amassing wealth within 5 years. Step 1 involves raising your income. Now, before dismissing this as unrealistic, consider this. Income doesn't expand overnight. However, people tend to underestimate how much it can grow over 5 years. This time frame is sufficient to acquire a valuable skill, transition career paths, initiate a side business, or negotiate various raises. Indeed, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, those who change jobs often enjoy a salary increase of 10 to 20% on average. Achieving this twice within 5 years could drastically alter your income. Nevertheless, income alone doesn't suffice because there's a second pitfall people encounter: lifestyle inflation. You receive a raise, and suddenly you upgrade everything: housing, cars, and costly habits. Soon enough, your income rises, yet your bank balance remains stagnant. This is a significant wealth deterrent, and psychologists call it hedonic adaptation. Your brain rapidly adjusts to lifestyle upgrades. That new car, thrilling for around 3 months before it feels routine, prompting a desire for more. Thus, step 2 is vital. Step 2 involves securing your savings rate. Here's a straightforward rule that's remarkably effective. Whenever your income grows, save at least half of that increase. If you gain an extra $1,000 monthly, automatically invest $500 of it. The remaining $500 is yours to enjoy. This strategy prevents lifestyle inflation from hampering your progress. Now comes the role of investing, with step 3 focusing on putting your money to work. Once your savings become consistent, those funds require a purpose. Historically, broad market investing has been one of the most dependable paths to long-term wealth. For instance, the S&P 500 has delivered an average annual return of about 10% over the past century. Naturally, market values fluctuate in the short term. Over longer periods, though, steady investing remains among the most successful wealth-building tactics. Consider a brief 5-year scenario. If after augmenting your income and managing lifestyle inflation, you invest $1,000 monthly, you'd have invested $60,000 over 5 years. With moderate market growth, this might rise to around $70,000 or even more. What often goes unnoticed is this. The true magic isn't just the initial 5 years, it's the momentum established during them. Once you achieve this level of investing, the subsequent 5 years accelerate rapidly. Here's a quick story. A friend of mine spent his early 20s burdened with financial worries. His savings were negligible, and his earnings barely covered his costs. But he made a pivotal choice. For 5 years, he concentrated exclusively on 3 tasks: enlarging income, circumventing lifestyle inflation, and investing steadily. No flashy tactics, no high-risk maneuvers, just sheer commitment. After 5 years, he had over $80,000 invested. Crucially, his income had doubled, laying the foundation for even swifter progress in the next 5 years. This is how wealth truly accrues, not instantaneously, but through the accumulating effect of momentum. So if your aim is to accumulate wealth in the upcoming 5 years, here's the practical guide. Initially, strive to raise your income. Your earning potential is your most potent financial tool. Secondly, defend against lifestyle inflation. Save at least half of every pay increase. Thirdly, invest routinely in assets that appreciate over time. Finally, persist for the entire 5-year stretch. Because here's an unpalatable truth. Wealth isn't derived from a single genius choice. It's born from numerous small, consistent decisions. And realize this: 5 years from now will come by, whether you prepare for it or not. The key is what state your finances will be in when it does. Will you remain stagnant, or will you have garnered the momentum for a transformative next decade? Sometimes, the gap between staying financially stagnant and generating wealth is simply opting for a superior strategy and granting it adequate time to succeed. If this video shifted your perspective on money, do subscribe. And I'm curious, where do you envision your finances 5 years from now? Share in the comments as your future begins with the choices you make this year.